Hey everyone, today I wanted to do a video talking to you about the rifle class that I just took. This will be more or less my kind of after action report for the class. What the class was, it was the 2-day American Rifleman course through Spartan Training Concepts. As you guys know, I've taken a lot of Spartan Training Concepts classes. Pretty much every single one they've offered I've taken so far. This was my first time actually taking the American Rifleman course. The last one they did, they had me come in and do some filming for them just so they could use that for some promotional material. I gotta be honest with you, when I was watching it and just filming it, it was really hard not to want to jump in there and get my hands dirty as well, because it looked like a lot of fun. After doing that, I knew that I had to actually be a participant in the very next class. So thankfully, I was able to just recently do that. And this is the rifle that I took through the class with me. Just a kind of brief overview on what this is. I might go in a little bit more depth later, but I got basically a BCM 11.5-inch upper in 5.56 on my SBR Form 1 Spikes Tactical lower. Just a brief overview from my student perspective of what the class is. Basically, it's a class designed for anyone who wants to be in a position and of a mindset to be able to defend themselves and their families or loved ones in a situation where they might have to employ a rifle to protect themselves. That can range anywhere from someone breaking into your house all the way to, a full-blown North Korean invasion kind of a thing. One of the things that I really appreciate about this class versus other similar, well, not even close to similar, but other rifle classes I've taken is the emphasis on this class and really any of the Spartan Training Concept classes is on the fight itself. So in my opinion, there are schools that teach you how to shoot and there are schools that teach you how to fight. And in my opinion, Spartan Training Concepts is absolutely a place that teaches you how to fight. Now, not only do they teach you how to fight, one of the other things that I really appreciate about their classes is they teach you how to fight with other people. And in my opinion, that's one of the most important things that you can learn. It's one thing to be out there lone wolfing it yourself, which I think anyone who has experience with that will tell you that is not a viable survival option. It's a whole other thing to actually get involved with other people, be able to communicate as a team, be able to maneuver as a team, and be effective as a team. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about the Spartan Training Concepts class that I was really able to get from it. So like I said, it's a 2-day class. The first day is very heavily focused on really ingraining kind of the basic fundamentals of how they want you to manipulate the rifle in their classes. Their style of reloads, their style of doing the fast follow-up after every single iteration of each drill. How they want you to move and all that kind of stuff. But I also don't want you to misinterpret that to mean that they try to basically teach you how to walk all over again. That's certainly not the case. They just want to make sure that everyone is reading off the same sheet of music before you go on to the more complex drills and scenarios that you're going to be doing heavily in the second day. So the second day, there's a maybe 10-15 minute recap on some of the drills you did the first day, and then everything else is a great culmination of a lot of the skills that you're putting together and moving that into different scenario-based exercises. There's a lot of moving while you're shooting, a lot of cover work while you're shooting. Other than the kind of warm-up at the beginning of the day, I don't know that there's a single time during the entire second day of the class where you are shooting stationary, standing up, just in the middle of the open, which in my opinion is excellent because that is the fastest way to make yourself a target in a gunfight. So the fact that they force you to not be in that position, I think is excellent. In my opinion, there's a lot of things that you should keep in mind when you're going to take a class, especially a place like Spartan Training Concepts. And the first one is to be open-minded. Everyone kind of has their own way of doing things. Any school you go to is going to have you do things slightly differently from another school. However, each instructor at every school has a reason for why they do what they do. So I would definitely encourage you to be open-minded. Try doing things the way that the instructors ask you to do because it's going to fit in with their curriculum. And if at the end of the class you decide, hey, you know what, I understand why they do that, but it's not for me, then you can go on and make whatever decisions you want. But I would encourage you, be open-minded, try to understand why the instructors are trying to teach you the way they are. If you have any questions, definitely, have them explain to you why you're doing what you're doing. Any good instructor should be able to explain why you're doing what you're doing. Me personally, having experience as an instructor myself, sometimes it's better to save that for when you're, going back and loading up your mags, so you're not taking a bunch of class time to do that, have that conversation. Any instructor worth their salt should be able to explain why you're doing exactly what you're doing. One of the other things that you should keep in mind is, leave your ego at the door. One of the things that I love about Spartan Training Concepts is I have found my failure point in every single class I've taken, whether it be their medical class, pistol class, now the rifle class, especially the combatives class. You're going to find yourself in a position where, you more or less fail. And that's not a fail as in you don't pass the class. That's a failure as in you don't know what to do next, or you kind of blank, or, you find yourself lost, so to speak. And that's exactly what should happen in a training class. Because if you're going to fail, the best place to do that is in a training class. You shouldn't, well, hopefully if you ever do find yourself in a gunfight, which hopefully never happens, the last time you want to learn those lessons is, once you're now full of lead. So I really appreciate that about Spartan Training Concepts, that you find that failure point, that the instructors, encourage you to that point, and then help you work through whatever obstacles you come across, whether that be physical, mental, or whatever, or even equipment. So when it comes to equipment, I want to talk about that briefly, and I'm going to have a separate video on the things to bring to class and some of the things I learned about the things I brought to class. But I highly recommend that you have backups, more or less, for what you have. If you do have 2 rifles, bring 2 rifles. In my case, I had to end up swapping out my bolt maybe 100 rounds into the first day. And if I hadn't had that backup bolt, I may not have been able to successfully complete the course with the rifle that I brought. So that was a good lesson there. Bring plenty of CLP or lube or whatever you use to lubricate your rifle, because it's going to get dirty. So being able to top everything up, which thankfully I didn't have to do, but should you have to if things get too dirty, being able to run a cleaning rod down your barrel to clean out any dirt that if your muzzle goes into the dirt, or to be able to lube up your bolt is definitely a good thing. One of the other things that I really encourage people to bring is a notebook. I highly encourage people to take notes and kind of write down what it is they're doing in between drills if they can, if they have time, or when you're back jamming mags. Because, I've noticed this both as a student and as an instructor. If you're not conscious of what it is you're doing and, taking note of it almost right away, you're going to forget even a couple weeks after the class, like when you're going out to go practice on your own, thinking, well, how did we do this? How did we do that? What did we do here? What's a good drill for me to do to practice this? So by taking those notes, it's definitely going to help you out. Now, I know that Spartan Training Concepts in the future will have a more advanced rifle class as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to taking that myself. I really think that anyone who wants to take the art of gunfighting with a rifle seriously should absolutely consider taking a class like this. It's definitely a huge step up from your basic NRA classes, but in my opinion, that's a very good thing. And now I also want to make it clear too, if you have zero experience with an AR or an AK or whatever type of rifle you want to bring, that shouldn't stop you from coming. We had a guy in our class who, for all intents and purposes, had never shot an AR-15 before, and he was able to basically pick up on the go. The instructors were able to give him the information that he needed, and that guy, by the end of the class, you would hardly know that he had never really handled an AR-15, less than 48 hours ago. So definitely don't let your experience be a deterrent to you coming, because with the skill level of the instructors, they're able to meet you wherever you're at and make sure that you improve both by yourself and in the company of others. So that's another thing that I really appreciate about every Spartan Training Concepts class that I've taken. You got people of all skill levels, and everyone is able to get something out of the class. Long story short, as far as equipment, make sure you bring quality equipment. If you don't, you'll learn very quick what is quality and what isn't. If you have any questions, I'm sure you can send them an email at their website and, ask, hey, should I try bringing this? Should I try bringing that? But like I said, I'll make a dedicated video just to the things that I brought in the class. and the things that I learned about what I brought to the class. You know, one of the things that someone else in the class said that I think really encompassed the idea of the class perfectly was, if you own any sort of load-bearing gear at all, if you own a MOLLE vest or you own a battle belt or anything like that, you need to take a class like this. If you own those things and you haven't taken a class like this, it's really a matter of you don't know what you don't know. Once you take a training class like this, you'll realize just how little you knew beforehand. I'll put it that way. It's just like, you know, me when I was 18, I knew everything. And then I realized I didn't know anything when I was 20. But at 20, I knew everything. And then I realized, you know, again, as time goes on, I didn't know anything at that time. So it's definitely not a fault against you if you haven't taken training up to this point. But again, I would strongly encourage you, make the investment in your training, and I guarantee that you'll be hooked and that you will understand the value of taking training from competent instructors, and that it's gonna go a long way for you. For those of you who are curious about my paint job here, this was actually a rattle can paint job I did myself using stencils from montactical.com. I'll put a link below to that. If you don't like rattle canning your guns, you can actually send your guns to Montactical down there in Las Vegas. At least that's where he's at currently. And they will do Duracoat for you, which has held up excellently in the guns that I've seen them do. You know, my friend the Haas USMC has a few guns that have been painted by him, and they've held up surprisingly well. Me personally, I like doing the rattle can. I like the way it wears. As you know, if you see close-ups of this, you'll definitely see where it has worn down. But yeah, so if you like this, definitely check them out. They got all different kinds of themed stencils. I went with a Viking theme, so I got the Volknut on this side, Till Valhalla, and you got Mjolnir here on this side. So hopefully throughout this video, I'll have been rolling in footage from the class that I took. Again, I could not recommend it enough to people who want to take the art of gunfighting seriously. It's an excellent class to learn, to find your failure points, and to just hang out with some really, really great people. Only one of the people who took the class was someone I'd met before, but you know, you're hanging out with the best people on earth, and everyone gets along really well from my experience so far. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. I'll have a link to Spartan Training Concepts down below as well. Definitely check them out. They got a pretty awesome lineup of classes. Everything, like I said, from handgun to rifle, to combatives, to medical, everything, active shooter classes, force-on-force classes. Definitely take a look at it. It's definitely worth your time and worth the money to take classes like that. So, you know, definitely reach out to them if you have questions. If you have questions for me, again, throw those down below. I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. But as always, I hope you're able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.
Cover! Cover! Up! Pop off! Moving! Go, go, go! Slow down. Slow down. Move! Top off, top off. Moving! They weren't ready yet. Covering! I'm topping off. Top off. Up. Moving. Move back, move back. Cover. Move! Top off, top off! Moving! Let's go, 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 go! Covering! I'm up! Up! Go, go, go! Cover! Up! Covering! I'm up! Cover! Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.